Hello everybody, BrioS here, and today we're looking at one of the more recognizable mechs on the battlefield. And this chunky, sexy boy here is the 100-ton clan monstrosity of a battle mech, the Kodiak. And this variant with the 4 ballistics around the center torso, high mounted, is the Kodiak 3, the variant that more or less broke the game several years back. And what do I mean by that? Well, when the Kodiak 3 was first released several years back, the UX-10s did not have any ghost heat. And when you put 4 UX-10s high mounted on this mech, the Kodiak 3, you could just smash the enemy to itty bitty pieces. And this was before engine desync. So by slapping an XL400 engine in, that's the max engine rating, you had great mobility because you have increased mobility with increased engine size years back. 4 UX-10s with no ghost heat, all high mounted. You basically just kill anything and there was no reason to play any other mech. That was how meta and overpowered this build was. And because of that, PGI deemed it necessary to nerf it many times, coming in with the UX-10 ghost seats so that you can't really fire 4 without overheating and cooking yourself, and bringing in engine desync, and also the mobility nerf to the baseline mobility of the Kodiak 3. So for many years, this Kodiak 3 languished in obscurity and patheticness until the cauldron came along. So with the cauldron patches coming in, the Kodiak 3 baseline mobility was buffed, so it's way more playable. A bit of quirks here and there, and even the weapons, the AC-10s, I'm running AC-10s, I'll show it to you in a while, had a bit of buff to some of its stats. So finally, this build is viable again, and most importantly, it's not overpowered. So it's deadly lethal, but, well, there are a lot of other good mechs out there. And that's the objective of all the cauldron patches, to make all mechs and weapon systems viable again. So with that being said, let's go down to Mech Lab. So this is currently the, dare I say, the metal build for the Kodiak 3, and it does really well. 4 AC-10s and a side torso for smashing the enemy with as its primary weapons, with 6.5 tons of ammunition, and an ERPPC low mounted in the right arm for a bit of additional DPS, additional damage. And all this you hit for 50 pinpoint more or less, plus 5 splash damage from the ERPPC. And with an XL375 engine, you move at a very respectable speed of 60.8 for a 100 tonner. Very decent. Even though it only has 14 double heat sinks, it also has ghost heat for the AC-10s, you'll see the wording there. I must say that if you fire 4 AC-10s without firing the ERPPC, it is very manageable in terms of heat. The ghost heat from 4 AC-10s is minimal. And even with the ERPPC firing together, yeah, the heat is manageable. Yep. So this is a very vicious build, as you'll see in the gameplay that is to come. And you'll see this build pretty often, especially at the higher tiers. So anyway, let's get down to the skills. Skills obviously increase the abilities of a mech. I estimate by about 20-30%. So I'm putting 46 SPs, yeah, that's the word, into the firepower 3. With 4 AC-10s as its main weapons, you want to go for magazine capacity nodes to increase the ammo capacity. So I'm taking 2 nodes of that. And a whole bunch of other nodes aiming for cooldown. So I have a cooldown reduction of 9.6%, so I can fire everything faster. With this mech, you want to have high DPS. And even though I did say it's a bit cool, in a sustained fight and with the ERPPC firing continuously, it does generate lots of heat. So the heat reduction of 8.4 helps a lot. To add on the other bonuses, this also has an 11% range bonus, 9% velocity bonus for the firepower 3. And if you go into survival 3, being a slow, chunky boy, and that's one of the flaws of the Kodiak, it's huge, very obvious and very easy to target on the battlefield, and also very hard to evade because of its low mobility. I'm putting 18 SPs into survival on the left side. Left side is armor, right side is structure. So 8% armor bonus and a 7.5 structure bonus, which is pretty decent because that adds up to a total of 136 armor in the center torso. That's after some of the defensive quirks coming in. And I'm not going for any mobility because the baseline mobility is still pretty low and all these are percentage modifiers, so I'm just pumping it into survival instead. As for operations, 18 SPs, targeting 5 nodes of cool run for 10% heat dissipation. That helps a lot. And a few other nodes like 3 nodes of heat containment to increase the Heat capacity by about 9%, just a bit better. And yeah, so on to auxiliary. 9 SPs in the auxiliary tree for 2 cool shots and 2 artillery strikes, which are always helpful. So that's it. That's the Kodiak tree, the current meta build, if I may call it that way, and you'll see this pretty often. So I thought I'd just share this build with you in case you want to try. And when I say see it pretty often, mainly in the upper tiers. So anyway, with that being said, let's get down to the gameplay and I'll show you this sexy Kodiak in action. Let's go. So here we find ourselves on the ever popular Hibernal Rift map for the very first showcase match. And one thing about playing assault mechs, it's actually pretty darn challenging. New players might not realize that, and that's because they're slow, chunky, and easy to focus fire upon. And with that low mobility, you gotta be careful. So at the start of a match, always be aware of the strengths and weaknesses of your mech. So the weakness of this mech is huge, easy to pick up, and the strengths are its 4 high-mounted ballistics. So you're gonna find a hill and hill hub rather than corner peak. With a 600 meter range for the AC-10s, you got a bit of range. So with that being said, I'm going to set up on Charlie 4 here as my team moves up, using the hill to hill hub while presenting my right arm around the corner so I can fire my ERPPC. Shooting some targets like that crab there as my team moves up. Talking about team moving, one of the biggest fear of any assault mech is to be left behind. So always keep an eye on your minimap so you know where your team is moving and you can respond appropriately.
New target acquired.
So as you can see, for example, right now, team is rotating to the right. So it's time for me to move. Thankfully I have a speed of 60 and my left arm is basically my shield arm. So I'm going to fire and present my left side to soak damage as I chase the team.
Artillery strike activated.
Can we push through golf and take the high ground, please?
Left arm destroyed.
Nothing in my left arm, so that's fine.
Target destroyed. New target.
Enemy loves to come up at the dropship. So I can either go left to engage that flank or right. But since the team has rotated this way, I'm going to take point on this side. Hit the enemy from their flanks. As you can see, they are at the dropship right now. One Marauder 2C, but it's a DC. I'm not gonna waste fire on him. It's 2-2. I could farm him, but that will cause me to lose damage on the functional mechs. So that poor Vindicator took a huge alpha in the CT. 40 damage plus the ERPPC, that's quite a lot. This crab's in a bad position, he knows it. Riding the heat curve. Just firing my ACs because it's hot. I dropped a strike earlier, doing damage on the Marauder 2C and killing that crab. 6-2. Team is crumbling. It's time to push forward. I'm still pretty fresh. One guy around the corner. Hello, Timberwolf. One alpha blows off one side torso. And second or third one through the CT. Straight kill. Enemy is caught in the valley. They made a classic mistake of going by the low ground. Then they couldn't push up the dropship, so they fell back.
New target acquired.
Kilo down there. One alpha blows off a side torso. Next alpha should kill him. Yep. Like I said, this mech is vicious. Lots of firepower if you can aim well. Bit of team damage there. Oh, glorious death by the Incubus.
Acquired.
So that's it, 10-4 kills already. Placing the AC-10s and ERPPC to the enemy to blow off components just like a knife through hot butter. Or what did I just say? A hot knife through butter. Hot butter would have melted. Just like the enemy team.
Target destroyed. New target.
So one target, Juliet. And a huge alpha straight into the CT. Instant death for a light mech. So that's it, ladies and gents. 12-3. Almost no damage. Quite a stomp. So as I showed, this mech is a beast. And the AC-10s travel really fast now, so pretty much pinpoint damage, it was 4 AC-10s. 876 damage, 6 KMDDs, 4 solo kills, 5 kills total, 11 components. Wow, just smashing the enemy. And that gives me what match score? 5-6-4. From the white valleys of Hibernal Rift, we now come to the expanse of the poop-colored Rubelite Oasis. And game mode is Conquest, so as you can see from the minimap, There are already mechs running off to Zimbabwe to cap. And that's fine because the initial game you need to get about 2 caps or 3 caps and then fight from there. And I'm just gonna stay with the assaults and the Banshee and the King Crab and hopefully deal some damage. Good thing about this build, it has some range which is useful. So I'm gonna take the high ground and trade with the enemy before closing in to brawl. So one target all the way in Echo Fire takes an ERPPC hit. 1000 over meters range, outside optimal for me. So I'm going to have to move up to get into a nice range for my weapons. And to do that, I'm going to drop left to hunt it down.
Target acquired.
Focus efforts Echo 5, Fox 5.
New target acquired.
So one thing about this spot, it suits this build because it's a slope, allowing me to hill hop nicely. But it's also awfully exposed. That's why there's this pillar, which I'm going to use to hide. Yet again using the right side so I can peek around the right and fire my ERPPC. Shooting mechs like this guy here as they move up to reinforce the front line.
New target acquired.
Target spotted.
Light PPC, Grasshopper. Interesting. And talking about interesting, as you can see from the minimap, we got 3 mediums and the lights all the way in Echo 5, Echo 4.
Target acquired.
Kinda overextended.
Gotta timber the open near Tater.
New target acquired.
Of course, Kodiak being very brave. Bravo.
Target spotted.
So that Kodiak, 2 UAC 10s, 2 UAC 5s, ERPPC, very hot build. Flap in his Kodiak.
Fox 6 low, guys.
Yeah, they're pushing Fox 6 low.
Cannibal
good.
excuse.
I'm going to reinforce that. Shoot at the Thanatos as he moves up.
New target acquired.
Target spotted.
Bravo. Watch out for Fox 7. You have a Thanatos.
So Flap in his Kodiak there, good player. So I'm just going to cover that corner.
New target acquired.
Team is pretty spread out as you can see on the minimap. I'm going to wait for them to come out.
A good start. Keep
Target
holding the
spotted.
resource
Assistance.
points, warriors.
Flap in his Kodiak is already caught CT. Gonna push forward a bit, try to get some damage in. Suddenly this Timber appears. What's he doing? Okay, he ran back.
Help me push Fox 6 low, please. Lots of quad mechs.
Yeah, lots of quad mechs here, gonna push forward a bit. This Grasshopper seems cornered and confused. Fire and twist. One more shot, I think I should get him.
Target
Yeah,
destroyed.
down he goes.
New target acquired.
Spotted.
Pushing Fox 6 low.
Resource
Got my
point
first kill.
is now
Going for
controlled
Foxtrot.
by the enemy.
Hit vision on, it's time to push forward.
Target destroyed.
PPC shot gets the Hanchi after the 4 AC-10s do some work.
Sorry.
Anybody get the Thanatos?
Need assistance.
Gotta be careful because the Thanatos ran off to Fox 7 area. He might shoot us in the rear.
Fox 7, high ground.
So one target on my right here.
New target.
Yeah, Juliet is an Arctic Wolf, bolting ATM trees.
Target
So it's
spotted.
ideal that I move into within minimum range, smashing him with my AC-10s and ERPPC.
Incoming.
He tries to make a run for it, but quite a few enemies here right now. Taking damage on my right, rely on my armor to soak it before I respond to the threat.
Critical damage.
Guys, help please.
New target acquired. Override.
Fox
shutdown.
7.
Warning.
Yeah, taking quite a bit of heat here. Gotta watch my heat. Fire and twist, spreading the damage as I engage
Target
Delta.
destroyed.
Thank you, Johnny.
Johnny gets the kill.
Acquired.
So one Jenner, he's outnumbered. He makes a break for it. Running really hot. Firing my AC-10s and my ERPPC there because I had a good angle. But that ERPPC shot cost me quite a bit, causing my torso to take heat damage and blow off. That resulted in the heat spike. For some strange reason, losing a torso increases heat. So now we have cooking with BrioS. Nice cooking show here as I sit in my cockpit. So with my right torso blown off, heat capacity is
Yeah, watch out
impaired,
for Lieber.
and so is my speed. Which is a problem
Target
because it's
destroyed.
Conquest, they have 4 caps. They have 4 caps, we have 1. So I move at a wonderful speed of 46.
Shame upon yourself.
Target acquired.
Last mech's a Jenner, 2C, Strict Jenner. A bit too slow to chase him. Hopefully he runs this way.
Target spotted.
He's already CT caught. 5 of us left, But there's a problem. They have a lot of cap points, 620 plus right now with 4 caps. 3 now.
We have data.
And I'm stuck right in the middle of FC and Sigma.
Salted, thank you for getting Gamma.
So we have mechs at 2 of the cap points. 1 cap point is really far away. Sigma, the guy at FC is not capping. The enemy gen is probably around there. Yeah, Bulldozer and the Arctic Cheetah. He's running away from FC, oh no. I don't think he realizes we are really close on caps.
Hey, Arctic Cheetah, just
Yeah,
take
there
the
goes our
envelope.
Arctic Cheetah. Bulldozer.
Oni-chan, could you defend Theta, please?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm like super slow. I'll get to FC eventually. 2022.
Way there.
Yeah,
Target spotted.
only 46.7. Don't think I can reach FC in time. It's really close if you look at the top.
Ah, you got it
707.
closer. Thanks.
707.
Both capture the Epsilon.
But they have 2 caps left.
I'm going as fast as I can.
They will have the game in about 20 seconds, and that's a problem. Bulldozer and his Arctic Cheetah now stuck in Gulf 4, way too far. I think he was expecting me to cap it. He doesn't know I'm kind of slow due to side torso destruction. Bulldozer runs back, but it's a bit too late. FC not secured, fully capped to 7 seconds, 5 seconds, 4, 3, I step in, 2, and not enough time.
An embarrassing defeat.
3 more seconds we could have won this. 3 more seconds if I got there earlier. Damn you, Chris. Damn you, Chris! So that ERPPC shot earlier in the game actually cost me and the team the match because they blew off my torso. Stupid Chris mechanism. I did really well, 1038. It's a good game for me. 5 KMDDs, 2 kills. Yeah, but still a loss. Due to Chris, the guy who introduced that 589 max score. Good. So ladies and gents, that's it for this meta build for the Kodiak tree, which you will see pretty often on the battlefield because it's just so vicious. If you're the Assault Mech player, you will probably like this baby. But whatever it is, like or Assault or whatever, I'll see you guys around on the battlefield. Play, have fun, and don't get too salty. Ciao.